We are rolling.
This is near the end of day 6 and on the cusp of day 7, also known as the end of the Food Basket Challenge.
Did you really use the word cusp and then cup your hand?
Yes.
That's diabolical right there.
A little bit.
Okay.
But I'm really looking forward to eating my normal diet of food. I just can't wait. But beyond that, how are you feeling? How's these last 6 days felt for you?
Well, actually, going to the Friendship Inn has really helped out quite a bit. Basically, because of that and the way that I've rationed things, now I have a lot more food and sort of my focus is coming back. I feel a lot more energetic. I feel like I can accomplish a lot of things. Still not perfect, but I think when I get back to my regular diet, I should be doing much, much better.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Like, for me, I felt the first, at least for me, the first 5 days were the hardest, and the 3rd day was definitely the worst of it all. Because, like, for day 1, it was a shock, because I realized this is all I could have. This is it. And it was a little bit daunting because I looked at what was in my fridge before and what will be in my fridge now, and it was like just imagine, like, this was in my fridge now, then all of a sudden you like narrow it down to that. I'm like, that's gonna fit in my stomach for the whole week. We'll see how this goes. But then, yeah, so the first 2 days I was just having temptations over everything because I was looking around my house and I always was craving random things like peanut butter, and then I would want fish, and then I just want chocolate really bad. I never really have these kind of cravings like that, but I just randomly, smell things and I would just want them, but it's like, I can't have that. Or I'll be driving and I'm like, ooh, I could get a pizza. Like, no, you can't. You can't get a pizza, or you can't get a sub. You can't do any of that. None of that. You can't do anything. But then day 3 was when it really started to hit me, like physically, mentally, and emotionally. It just started to really kind of mess with my whole structure, and it just really dawned on me like that people live like this, and this is everyday life for them, and I almost just tanked. That was the hardest part for me.
Yeah, I had 2 hard moments. Basically, you know, from the start of this until about Saturday, things were just gradually getting worse. Saturday, I woke up feeling completely hungover, had enough food to go to the Unix boot camp and teach, but I mean, after doing that, that's just a lot of energy expended, and I came back and felt pretty crummy for the rest of the afternoon until I finally had something. And then there was another panic moment. I don't know if you ever had this, but my food started to rot.
Yes, I mentioned that earlier today, and oh, yeah, go on, sorry.
Yeah, just remember to have crackers. I'm going to go have some of that after this video.
Yeah.
So I had like
lifesaver.
Yeah, exactly.
Crackers.
No kidding.
Crackers. Who would have thought crackers?
I know, they're fantastic.
This
and
little,
like the salt and the energy. It's like, yeah.
These little rectangular discs or whatever.
Rectangular discs.
Whatever. I don't like. I can't even think straight anymore. This whole thing.
That's very true. Okay. Okay, I'll give you.
I feel like a cracker disc. That would be awesome.
You mean like round crackers that
round?
Exist?
Yes, but call them cracker discs.
Okay.
Just call them flat cubes.
Flat cubes. Okay.
Anyway.
Or edgeless squares for the disc for the disc ones.
I like that. I like that. Anyways.
But yeah, yesterday I had like a little piece of mold on one of my pieces of bread. And I was like, I'll just rip that off, I'll deal with it. Yeah. Today my buns tasted like dirt. I imagine I'm not going to have my regular bread tomorrow morning. Yeah. The spinach is starting to wilt.
Oh yeah.
And my corn cob, just a little bit on the end, was starting to mold. It was like, no. And like living with that on a regular basis. Yeah. And just having to think that, you know, like you have the choice between eating molding food. Yeah. Or starving and not being able to, well, like starving, but like not having enough to actually do anything during the day. Yeah. That's a scary trade-off.
Well, it's like you gotta eat it quick or it goes bad, but if you eat it quick, then those next couple days you have nothing to eat. Exactly. It's like, or you eat the moldy food and risk, I don't know, cancer or death, you know? Yeah. Like extreme scenario, I know, but like you risk just doing some real serious damage to your body.
Or, giving yourself penicillin, depending on the type of moment.
Well, that's more realistic.
This is it's a very unlikely benefit, but it still might exist.
Benefit.
But anyway, if I had to do this all over again, I would definitely have 5 days where I was eating my own food, and then on the other 2 days, let's say the weekend, I would just go to the Friendship Inn and eat there, because that would give more food for every day of the week, and then you could have something different, something provided by somebody else over the weekend, and as a result, you'd probably be able to eat everything before it rotted. So that's my thought anyway.
Perhaps, yeah. I don't know. I just found that it was super hard to ration the food. Because usually for me, it's like, oh, I'm out of food. Well, let's go to the grocery store, And, I have a set budget that does well for me. I'm not exactly broke, but I'm not exactly rich either. I don't have that much money, but it's just, I have enough to know that my meal is coming.
Yeah.
And not that I have to worry about it. And this is, I don't know, it's just baffles me, not baffles me, but it just goes beyond me that this is every day for some people. And it's scary. It's in this, this could be someone next door. That's the even more crazy part for me.
And hearing that a lot of international students at the university have to deal with this on a regular basis, that's worrisome too.
Yeah, they come in from a different country and culture, and they got to deal with everything else and coming at them, plus
the insane exchange rate makes food just so much more expensive. A friend of mine came from China. It was 6 to 7 times more expensive to get food here than it was for at home, and that's what the exchange rate was. And having to deal with that would just be crazy, imagine a burger being $70. How would you deal with that?
I just wouldn't eat a burger. I would just be screw it.
But if that was the cheapest regular food you could get,
oh man,
it's just insane. That's insane for me to wrap my head around.
I would start hunting. I would start. That's what I would do.
But I want to go back to a point you said about having really to think about where your next meal is coming from.
Oh man,
I had a weird experience today.
Yeah.
I was meeting with a supervisor and a doctor, basically, and we're planning on working out an experiment that had to do with health. Really big, cool stuff with lots of really practical implications. Practical usages, right? So I'm talking to them, and I keep looking down at my watch. It's I gotta go home soon.
Your
Otherwise,
watch.
my watch. It's wrist o'clock right now, as you can see.
Okay, sorry,
so I'm looking down at my watch, and it's I've got to go home. I've got to go home. I got to get something to eat. Otherwise, I'll crash. And if I don't eat something, it's gonna be terrible for tomorrow. It's there are these really big, important things, but my primary focus is food, and it doesn't matter if I stay longer. It matters a lot if I stay there and I miss something, because if that food disappears, I'm screwed. I got to eat it before it goes away.
Yeah. And also, have you found that it affects your social life in some way?
Yes.
Because people will be hey, we're going to go for drinks and have some wings or something. And I'd be awesome! I can't do that because I'm on this challenge. But if I was actually living that moment, I don't have the money to do that. I don't have the resources or anything. And even, all my roommates went to LB5Q last night, and they even got me a ticket. And I'm I'm sorry. I'm going to be going to this party with 1,000 people, or however many there were there, and there'd be drinks everywhere and food and stuff. And I'm I can't do that. I just can't live in that moment, And people, you just can get completely cut off because people gather around for potlucks and stuff, or just if you want to meet up with a friend, have supper with them, just have a nice little chat. Can't do that.
Yeah, I had something similar. I went out to a birthday party on Friday night.
Oh, no.
And everybody was drinking. Dylan, have something. You damn well better order something. It's I can't. And, I'm just kind of sitting there. Everybody's drinking. Everyone's having a good time. It's now would be a really good time for rum and coke, but I can't help it.
Yeah.
So that's basically going to be my celebration on Wednesday.
Oh.
I honestly can't drink much because of other circumstances. But I am certainly going to have something like that on the last day.
I am going to have a huge steak or something, or have some sushi, or just something I'm just gonna dive right into it, or just get a big jar of Nutella and just power through it.
You know, I'm like, if you hadn't told me about the banquet at the end, I was just gonna go for sushi, like bottomless sushi, and get like a beer and do that.
Oh man!
I was gonna ask if you wanted to come along, but now there's this banquet. I guess we can go to that, but at the same time,
well, we could do that too.
We can do
that because I need to refill myself because this has done a number. Yeah.
I know what you mean. That was the weirdest thing over the weekend. It's like I could eat and I would feel better, but it's like it took a couple days to get back up to snuff, and still today I'm not quite on. Like I'm 95%, but I'm still missing.
Well, it's I got to a level where my body functions a little more properly, but I realized that level is a lot lower than where I was like a week and some ago, before this diet.
Oh yeah. I see what you mean.
Like my peak has now dropped, but I feel okay. But I know that I could feel a lot better.
Yeah.
Like nutrition is key. Like I knew it was important before, but I had no idea. Like you can only eat so many starches and carbs.
Yeah.
And like they give you good energy, but that's all they are. They just give you energy. They don't really feed your body in ways that other foods can, like with the vitamins, proteins, and just everything else, you know.
But you know, I'm thankful